most products are like a funnel, right?
All products have a funnel, but the funnel shouldn't be how you plan to grow.
Talk about a referral loop and how that works.
You could get one free drink per day at any of the partner bars, and you had this virtual currency. So what you had to do was you would earn that free drink.
Is that a
Mhm.
creation loop? Is that a sharing loop? Is that a both?
My dad used to collect stamps. He could Google this type of stamp. It would have a landing page on eBay.
Funnels suck, loops rock, but why? Hello and welcome to Growth Masterminds, the podcast for growth marketers. My name is John Fitzgerald. I'm going to tell you a secret. Whatever you do, don't tell today's expert, but she just might be my favorite guest. She runs a growth marketing agency, has won a lot of cool stuff, has worked for some of the best companies in mobile. Her name is Hannah Parvaz. She's the CEO of Aperture, and she's pretty freaking awesome, but don't let her know. Hello, Hannah. How are you doing?
Hey, John. That was really lovely. I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm doing good. It's a rainy September day here in London, but I'm feeling good. How about you?
That is kind of appropriate because I feel like I went to sleep and I woke up and summer was gone and it's fall. And yeah, what the heck?
Yesterday, I put my coat on for the first time. I was like, wow, we're finally here in fall.
I know it's awful. It's horrible. I'm really sad about it. However, it's been a year since we chatted, which is kind of insane.
Mhm.
What has happened in the last year for you? What has been cool? What has been exciting?
Yeah, I actually was just watching back our video from last year. And we're a little bit late this year for anybody who hasn't seen any of the previous episodes we've done. We did one last year and the year before. And so it's become a bit of a annual ritual for us. But yeah, I mean, whenever I was watching the beginning of it just now, and I don't know, you might want to cut together some of those snippets, but like I was talking about how we were about to start running our series of events, Aperture Sessions. It's been over a year of us running those now. We've had almost 1,000 people attend our events. We've done them in Vegas, New York, London, Istanbul, Berlin, like many different countries. The team has been growing.
Not
Doubled
Vancouver.
in size.
You
Oh
haven't
yeah,
come
I
to
was just
Vancouver.
thinking we have to do something soon together. Um, so yeah, the team has doubled in size, and yeah, things are good. We're working on some very cool projects, and then for me personally, just been enjoying like a slower summer, going into kind of event season now for the rest
Nice.
of the year. So yeah,
Nice.
it's gonna have been a very good 2025, I think.
Okay. Well, 2026, ma'am, but
It's
yes.
coming soon. Coming soon.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to talk about loops, and I got to ask you a weird question. Why do you like horizontal eights?
I like the infinity symbol in reference to the loop. You know, the loops should be infinite growth if we can execute them properly. Obviously, I mean, we'll get into the thick of it soon. But yeah, we want to just think about how these loops can just keep on going and keep on growing.
Yeah, because you're talking about, I mean, there's a LinkedIn post that precipitated this. I'll share the link in the notes of the show, but you're talking
Yeah.
about most products are like a funnel, right? Stuff comes in at the top, it gets narrower and narrower. Something comes out at the bottom, but it's kind of unidirectional, right? And it's really dependent on you continuing to shovel in stuff, i.e., money, i.e., users, players, customers into the top. Why are
Mhm.
most products a funnel?
I think all products have a funnel, but the funnel shouldn't be how you plan to grow. And I know some of the material that you'll have been reading, and we've actually discussed some of this topic like 2 years ago, and it's like interesting to see how some of these things have changed. But don't get me wrong, all products have a funnel. Like that is a way that you can grow, and it's a way to do some analysis. But that definition, the ARRR definition is amazing, but it is, as you say, unidirectional. And our understanding of how companies grow has evolved also since then. Reforge do a lot of really great writing about this. I went through a Reforge course nearly 10 years ago now, which is a very long time ago, and which is where I really learned a lot more about growth loops and how all of these loops can work. And really, when we're thinking about those and what the difference between the loops and the funnel is your loop the infinity symbol just keeps on going. Whenever, as you said, whenever we're thinking about funnel, it requires putting things in at the top, and each step gets smaller and smaller and smaller. But when we're thinking about growth loops, which could be a community loop, it could be a social viral loop, it could be a referral loop. There are so many different types of loop, a content loop that we can think about. And these, we'll get into it more. I'm just so excited about the topic, but like these are really there to help us kind of predictably and scalably grow.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different loops, maybe as many as 10, we'll see. And then it'll be interesting for anybody who's watching, listening, what loops work for you, what loops don't work for you, because it's going to be different, right? Different loops are going to work for different people. A fitness app is going to be a little bit different than a retail app. Well, maybe a lot different, right? So we're going to talk about all that stuff. And we'll end off by talking about how do you kickstart the loop, which is the cold start problem, which, by the way, is what Hannah and I chatted about the first time we ever talked. So
Yeah,
I like loops too. Let's chat about a few of them. You mentioned referral loops, right? And that's one that doesn't work on everybody, right? Doesn't work on me really, because I don't really want to push that. But there are people who are very comfortable with doing that. Talk about a referral loop and how that works.
one of the most successful referral loops that I worked on building into a company was when I joined a company called Drinky, which is now called Dusk. Really how this product worked, for everyone's reference, is that it was an app that got you free drinks at bars. Pretty appealing for
Very
people who like
popular
to
to a
drink.
certain set of people.
And you could get one free drink per day at any of the partner bars, and you had this virtual currency. So what you had to do was you would earn that free drink. So you would kind of share your preferences, or you would complete kind of quizzes, or you would check in. Originally, you would like check in on Facebook and you'd get a free drink. One of the things that we built in, because you could stack them up, you could have your account could say, I've got 5 free drinks available, but you could still only redeem one per day.
Oh,
But we built in a system in my first even few weeks, I think, or few months of the company, where if I referred you, we both got an extra free drink. So, if we go to the bar together and you see me getting a free drink, you're probably going to want to go to a drink. Our average kind of amount of people that were going to bars together, and this was 2018, it's nearly 10 years ago now, but was over 2, So it was over 2, which means people who are going with other people. So whenever they see you, I see you, John, getting a free espresso martini, I'm going to want one as well. So you refer me, I download the app, we both get an extra free drink. And so very quickly, this went very viral with people, and people also had a unique code. So we could change them to people. Mine was Hannah, for example. I don't know if that code is still active. Anyway, product changed anyway since then. But it meant that then dramatic increase in referral. Our K factor was definitely above 1, let's say. And people were just sharing and sharing and sharing. And because we knew that when someone was hard activated, and I'll talk more about that later, but that they would continue inviting people or continue drinking in that group, it meant then that we could really focus, instead of even on acquisition, our main growth loop had sorted out itself. We focused heavily on retention.
Cool. It's such a London thing. I mean, like London, the culture of London, right? You finish work and okay, where are we going? And there's a bar hopping sequence that happens and everything. I could totally see it in New York and other places like that as well. Now that's an easy one to give away, right? Everybody wants that. So that's perfect. That's awesome. That really works. And that was great for you guys. There's another loop. That's one that, would be more maybe up my alley, and that's content loop. Is that a creation loop? Is that a sharing loop? Is that a both? Talk about a content loop.
It can be executed in many ways, a content loop. So it can be about creation, it can be about sharing. But what we have to think about is how is this content reaching from one to many? And so some of the very good examples of this are Pinterest or eBay or Gumtree in the UK or Depop or any of these sites where you go on and you create your account and then you start sharing things or creating content. And this then becomes its own landing page. So then it can show up in search results, or you can share it with people. For example, if I have a Depop account, which is probably everyone knows, but it's a fashion company. So you resell old clothes. It's like Vinted, or it's a branch off eBay where you used to go on and sell your clothes. You can sell more than clothes, but that's how it started. And you would go on there and I might list, okay, I've got 10 of these tops. So I might go on there and then list all of them to sell. Each one will have its own landing page and share link, and I can share those, or people can search and discover them. On eBay, for example, I might be looking for old stamps. My dad used to collect stamps. He might be looking for specific stamps, and he could Google this type of stamp. It would have a landing page on eBay. He might go on there, create an account, purchase that. Then he's got his account. He might decide he wants to sell some of his stamps. So he starts to create landing pages for that, or listings, which then become landing pages for those. And so the loop goes.
Cool. Awesome.
Have you sold anything on eBay?
I've sold stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I'll date myself here. I've sold stuff on Craigslist.
Yeah, Craigslist is a great example of a content loop.
Yes, exactly. I have sold stuff on eBay. I'm not sure. I don't sell a lot of stuff. I like, I kind of like, I'll give it away mostly.
That's nice.
Yes, exactly. Let's talk about a habit loop. I mentioned fitness apps earlier. Maybe that's a good example of where you use a habit loop. I use an Apple Watch, and so I have to close my rings every single day, right? Other things like that. Talk about habit loops.
A habit loop. So this one is about when your product is there to build a habit. So think about Duolingo, think about Spotify, think about those things that sometimes there are apps that you're building a streak in. Anytime you see a streak in an app, it's creating a habit for you. There's an app at the moment called Quitter. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have.
Yeah. So this is by a guy called Alex Slater, and he created an app to help people quit porn. And they have a feature in their app as well, where they have a community feed. And he was showing me that if you hold down from the admin app on one of the community posts, it will send a push notification to their entire user base if push notifications are opted in. So I haven't paid for the app because it's a hard paywall, but I was receiving push notifications for a while from it. And I was reading them out of curiosity, and it's a lot of people saying, it's been 45 days, it's been 90 days. Like, they've created this habit that is building this streak for people. It's really powerful. Addiction apps, talking about addiction or quitting smoking, or I quit drinking 3 years ago, and I have another friend who stopped on the same day as me. And he always reminds me, because he tracks it, and he'll be like, it's been 1,000 days. And he shares that. So, that habit loop, but then he screenshots and shares it, and then it becomes a content loop for that app. So yeah, there's some different examples of that.
That's so cool. So I have a 1,727-day streak of closing all my rings on Apple Fitness Plus.
717.
1,717. What's one? I'll get the notification today, and it'll tell me the exact number. I saw it yesterday. So,
well done.
I'm going for 2,000, but when you hit 2,000, why not hit 3,000, right? So I remember getting so ticked off at my son when he was like, I don't know, he's like 13, and he was on Snapchat, and he's like, I have to keep up my streaks. And we're on vacation, and he wasn't even sending messages. You have streaks for how you're sending a message to everybody. He was just sending like a letter or a swipe or something like that, or a random photo of like a quarter of his face or something like that. And that was keeping up his message streaks. That was so important. I was like, why does this matter? And then I realized, and I was using, you remember Swarm? Do you know Swarm?
I love Swarm. Yeah. Full Exchange. Do you still use it?
I deleted it. Because I was like, why am I checking in? This is a location. For everybody who doesn't know, this is a location space. It used to be called Foursquare, exactly. It was launched in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest. And you go somewhere and you check in. And if you have friends, you can see where they are and stuff like that. And it's kind of a cool thing, because it's like, here's where I've been this year. Here's where I went in January. Oh, I'm back here. I haven't been here since a year. But I was like, I'm giving all this information to ad networks for free, because that's how they monetize. And I'm like, now I have this obsession. Everywhere I go, I got to pull out my phone, get out of my routine and I'm checking into the gym and I'm checking
That
into the
was the
grocery
routine.
store. I
Were you the
know.
mayor of your gym?
Of course I was. I was the mayor of so many places. And I was like, okay, this is just lame. Be real. And I still miss it. I really miss it. Apple Maps
Mhm.
has this feature that's coming in or is here in iOS 26, of like location records, but it's
Yeah.
really general. It doesn't give you,
Mhm.
so I might have to do it again. That's how powerful the habit loop can be. I still miss it when I go to a place. Okay, got to move on.
I miss it. They
Yeah.
rebranded though. Like if you haven't looked at that app for a while, you're going to be shocked when you re-download it.
Okay. It's been about 6 months. So yeah, maybe I'll
Anyway,
have to take a look. We'll see.
yeah,
Maybe my
it's not
account's
orange
still there.
anymore. It's not orange anymore.
Oh, okay. What about incentive loop? What is that? How's that work?
Well, you can actually build some of these on top of each other. So one of the things that I mentioned before in the Nightlife app was an incentivized referral as well. So you can have a referral loop that is incentivized. You can also, just to go back to referral loops, you can also have referral loops that are non-incentivized. Firstly,
Mm.
like there is a lot of referral loops that happen because of social capital. Like you've only got 5 of these things that you can share, like be what's called Clubhouse.
Yes.
Very exclusive. So you were cool if you could invite someone. That was social capital. But then you have also got kind of incentivized ones. There's an app in the UK called Free Trade, and I'm also hard activated on Free Trade. I'm user number like 460 or something like that. I was looking for this app after Robinhood came out. I was looking for a UK equivalent because couldn't use Robinhood in the UK. And Free Trade came out, and it's I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It helps you trade for free. And
Yes.
what I had in there was an incentivized referral loop as well. So it said, John, if I refer you Free Trade, we both get a share, a free share. And at the beginning, it was a smaller amount. It was like between £2 and £20 value, but it was a variable reward as well. Neriel will say, like, it's a variable reward. So you never know what you're going to get. Now I think it's between 20 and £200 or something like that, because obviously their cost per acquisition has gone up. So they
Wow.
can do up to £200, I suppose, for if you're a qualified user who's going to use that product for a long time. That's worthwhile. But yeah, we would both get that. So both of us get that reward. So I actually referred a bunch of people to this app as well, because
Nice.
number one, it's something that I talk about anyway. I talk about trading and money and this stuff.
Yeah.
So it comes up naturally in conversation, but then I'm already going to talk about it. And so just getting that additional incentive and prompting someone to do it is actually something I do. I'm not someone that generally shares apps like you, but whenever it is that good, you do that.
Yes, exactly. That variable reward is actually genius, because psychologically that is more valuable. Somehow that's more desirable. That's more habit forming than a consistent reward. I guess there's that gambler thing. I mean, I took some psychology courses in university. I still remember a few things, and they had rats in the maze, and they could tap a thing, get a reward. They got to have it. But when it was variable, sometimes you tapped, you got some. Sometimes you tapped, you didn't get some. It was more powerful.
More addicting. And I mean, you have that. You have the action number 1, refer. Action number 2, checking what you actually got in return. So it gives you that additional moment.
Multiple loops.
Exactly. So
Loops
bringing you
within
back into
loops.
this.
Wow.
Loops within loops. And you can have loops within loops. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, cool. There's also a community loop. That makes sense, right? It's more about, it's kind of like a network effect, I assume, right? There's more people.
Yep.
There's more people to talk to, more people to connect to. That makes everything more valuable.
Yeah, community, social viral, similar in a way to like what we said about Pinterest, but like Quora or Reddit or things like this, where the more people are engaging or taking part, the better the product becomes itself. But then it has lots of different elements that come onto that. If you search something, a lot of the time when I search something, I get returned with a Reddit result. And actually, I find sometimes the information or the qualitative information on there better for me to understand this specific thing than an article or something like this. So you end up landing on Reddit, or it used to be more Quora or things like this, to try and find out what the answers to problems. And then, okay, maybe I want to comment or ask another question. So I create an account then. The conversation gets more valuable for everybody. That brings in more people. It's a really great loop as well, community loop.
It's funny to hear you say that because I was just comparing like Google search, like cable TV. This day yesterday, who searches on Google anymore, or DuckDuckGo, which I used to use and I still use from time to time, right? But I use so much less searching there because of course you go straight to
And
ChatGPT.
people use so much more on TikTok as well for certain demographics. I was sat with two friends the other day and we were wondering what the merch for this band was on this tour. And I went to Google and they both said, I'm looking on TikTok. I was like, whoa.
Who found it first?
They found it first. I was really amazed. But yeah, lots of people are, especially if it's something like this, they're just going to TikTok because they just assume other people will have uploaded that content. Other people are interested in it.
Makes sense. Cool. Okay, so we don't need to go into depth on a ton more. There's a lot more. There's the UGC loop. There's data feedback, right? The product gets better, smarter as you use it more. There's marketplaces, of course. Marketplace with one seller and 5 products isn't very exciting, but it gets more exciting. Viral social, you already mentioned. Network effects, we mentioned. Lots of other things like that. I guess a core question for somebody who's early, right? It's interesting because every time I chat with you, you tell me about some app that I was like, user number 3 or user number 429 or whatever on like this trading app that you just mentioned, right? So you're one of those people that goes out there and searches for something new and something different, and you're early in a lot of these things. That's a challenge for those app publishers, right? They know the loop. They want to create the loop. They want to kickstart the loop, but it's not easy, is it?
It's definitely not easy. And especially I work with a lot of, or have historically also worked with a lot of first-time founders where they might not necessarily know. A lot of the time you don't choose your loop either. You're not like, I have this
The loop
app.
chooses me.
The loop chooses you. For sure, the loop chooses you. Just like your channel chooses you based on what your product is. So a lot of people like Nikita Vera will pick a loop and design around that loop actually and build a product for that loop. But actually, that's not what most people do. Most people say, this is a problem I want to solve. Now I want to grow a product around it and monetize it. And then later on, they think, how do I grow? And then they think about loops they can add. And so it's a different way of thinking about things. And so I know this other amazing app called Picnic. It's a photo deleting app. I'm not sure if you've heard of this. Maybe you've heard of it.
Photo deleting app?
Yeah. So imagine if so the problem they're solving is at the moment in my phone, I have got in my 33,675 photos.
Oh, you're a lightweight. My wife has like over 300,000.
Exactly. And I used to delete them all before I went to a terabyte of iCloud storage.
Yes.
And I'm not going to look at 33,675 photos.
No. And most of them suck.
isn't-
And some of them are screenshots that you only needed for 2 minutes. And 70% of them are you took 5 shots of the same scene and only one of them is good.
And so this is the problem that this app is solving, Picnic. What they do and what they've really effectively done with ads as well is they have set up a game, like a Tinder game, where you swipe to delete them and it can work offline. A big use case is people doing it on the plane. A lot of their ads are people on the plane doing it because they found that this is where people will do this. And they've created a paid loop. So they're profitable on paid ads. So they're growing in this way. This is another type of loop. But then they share a lot of content. It's a photo-related app, so there's a content loop. People get into the habit of doing it on a plane, so there's a habit loop. The free version, you only have a set amount of deletes, like 25 a day or something like this. But if I refer you, guess what? We both get extra deletes. So they've got a referral loop. So they've built many, many different loops into this product, and they've done extremely well. I'm really impressed by them.
Wow.
Great guys too.
This is amazing. This is like, I'm going to date myself with this reference, but this is like Tom Sawyer getting people to pay him for doing his chores. I don't know if you ever read that book, Have Fun When You Were a Kid or something like that in school. But yeah, I got to pay now so I can delete my own photos. But I get it. It gets you to do it, and it does it well, and
Mm-hmm.
probably identifies duplicates and other things like that. So that's really, really good. It's really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you a question like 5 minutes ago, because you mentioned some people start with a loop and build an app around it. Some people start with a need, build an app, and then find a loop for it. Who do you find is more successful?
I don't know the results overall, but I do know how successful the people who think about the loop first, or think about your growth strategy first, or look at what's trending and look at the channels that you can grow on first. So probably everybody who's listening to this, and you have heard of Nikita Fair of gas fame, and what he identifies a core target audience, which is usually people in schools who have a high high touch point relationships with other people. Things can go very viral very quickly inside a school or university. And he identified that, and referral and this community, like communication side of things. And he has successfully sold several businesses based on this. And this is who a lot of the kind of younger generation, who all hang out on X and all share very publicly and hang out on Discord and share all of their tactics, are following. And so if you can do that successfully, I would say this is actually probably where you're going to have the most benefit monetarily for your business. But again, you have to think about what kind of business you want to build. A lot of people have a passion that they're trying to build for. I worked with a mother's meditation app, and the first call I had with them, I said, like, where do you want to go? Are you trying to get to $1 billion valuation? They were like, we just want to help people. Like, we don't have,
Yeah.
if I could help, she said, if I could help 1 million mothers, I would feel like I've been successful.
Mhm.
And, it wasn't a product built around like, how much can we share this? It's a product built from passion. And so again, there are different business objectives and so on. So if you're looking for high growth, quick exit, it might be an idea to build around a loop.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it's always a question I have in my mind, right? If you build from passion, maybe it's very personal, but maybe it just catches fire and it's incredible and wonderful and amazing.
True.
Maybe if you build from a loop, it's kind of clinical and you're not passionate
be.
about it, but maybe you have better execution, right? So it's really hard if you can combine the two, something that you're super passionate about. I interviewed the CEO of All Trails. I forget his name. I'll find it later, maybe paste it over on the screen or something like that. Probably about a year ago. Super incredibly passionate and amazing growth loops, an amazing story, right? They were the app of the year, I think, last year on the
Yeah.
iOS App Store. So if you can combine the passion and the knowledge and the strategy and execution, absolutely best of all worlds.
Yeah. Like Runner as well. A lot of like fitness apps actually, or
Mhm.
exercise apps, do it very well, because a lot of the time they have come from places of passion. Most people who love
Yes.
hate running or making a running app. So, and then they have these very good social elements. Strava, share my run.
Where's the military base again? Right here. No.
I found out where so many people live from Strava. I'm like, too much information here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Awesome. Okay. Well, this has been another great conversation. I think we've chatted a lot about growth loops. That's awesome. A little bit about how to kickstart the loop and everything like that. How are we going to end this off? What are you going to share with us? No problem.
What am I going to share with you? That's a very big open question. I think
Yes, it is.
what I, in regards to loops, I would say, firstly, if you ever want to chat about loops, message me. My name's Hannah Parbaz. You can find me everywhere. And I think what it is about finding the loop that fits you. So whether that's any of the ones that we discussed or many more, I have some good content about this. We can have a call about it. But really think about what is the loop that fits your business, but also fits the skill set of your team or yourself. If it's a content one, how can you actually start that loop? How can you accelerate it? From a non-loop point of view, I will be in New York in October. I'll be in Berlin in November. I'll be in London for the rest of the time. I'm taking a holiday to Jordan, which I'm excited
You're
about.
allowed to take holidays. Who
I
gave
know.
you this permission?
It's my first one for a while, actually. So I'm excited. And so, yeah, if you're in any of these places, send me a message. I'd love to meet up and, yeah, just chat about growth in general.
Awesome. Awesome. As always, Hannah, super great pleasure. Great to chat with you.
Absolutely delightful. Great to see you, John. Thanks for having me.